Okay, fine. So let's start the first numerical, simple numerical. An air compressor takes in the air at 1 bar and 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, and compresses it according to the law PV to the power of 1.2 is equal to constant. That is where n is equal to 1.2, and it is then delivered to a receiver at a constant pressure of 10 bar, and R is equal to 0.287 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin. So determine the temperature at the end of the compression, and the second one is work done and heat transfer during the compression process per kg of air. So mass flow rate is 1 kg per air. So here, if you closely look at this particular problem, I don't have any clearance value. Okay, I don't have any clearance volume. So the first and foremost thing is actually if I try to draw the TS diagram. So we need to draw the TS diagram and then we will try to solve this problem. So this is my TS diagram. Or if you want, you can write a PV diagram also, doesn't matter. PV diagram, let me draw PV diagram rather than TS diagram. So PV diagram. So it is compressed. It will go to this particular point. Then this is my 1. Then it is compressed to 0.2. Then it will go to 0.3. Then this is 4. So this is according to Lola, PV to the power of 1.2 is equal to constant. This is a polytropic process. Okay, this is how the compression process takes place. So let's try to write the data what is given in the numerical. Okay, the first data is actually P1. So what the data is given is the P1, which is 1 bar, and T1 is actually, it is in degree Celsius. So 20 plus 273, it is 293 Kelvin, and the final pressure is actually, it is 10 bar, and with R is equal to 0.287 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin, and mass is actually, it is 1 kg. So this is what they are given per kg of air. What we are supposed to find? We are supposed to find what is the temperature at the end of the compression. What is it actually? So you are compressing from 1 to 2. So this should be T2. And the second one is work done and heat transfer, Q. Okay. So now if I try to follow the polytropic process, so we know that T2 by T1 is equal to T2 by T1 whole to the power of n minus 1 by n, whole to the power of n minus 1 by n. So I know by P2 is 10 and P1 is 1 and n is 1.2, 1.2 minus 1 by 1.2. So I am getting around 1.468 or 47. If you want, you can round it up to 47. Or therefore my T2 is equal to 1.468 into where T1 is 293 Kelvin. So if I substitute that, I am getting around roughly around 430 Kelvin. Okay, 1.468 into 293, I am getting around 430.124. That is 430.12 Kelvin. Or if I want it to be in degrees Celsius, it is 157 degrees Celsius. So 157 degree Celsius roughly. Okay, this is my first one, we got it. That is your compression temperature. Now how to find the work done actually? So just now we know the expression. So the work done is given by, this is a single stage. Work done is given by the expression. What is actually? It is W is equal to N by N minus 1 into P1 V1 I can write, or MR T1, doesn't matter, because I have temperature, I will write it in terms of T1. I don't want to find V1 once again, so it's, I can write in terms of MR T1. Okay, P2 by P1 whole to the power of N minus 1 by N minus 1. So this is already, we have derived this particular expression for a single stage. So what I am trying to do is actually This expression is actually P1 V1 because we know that P1 V1 is equal to MRT1. That's why I'm writing the MRT1 in terms of P1 V1 in terms of MRT1. So we know all the values. So if I substitute R in terms of 0.287, directly I'll be getting the work done in terms of kilojoules actually. If I substitute R in terms of joules, I'll be getting in terms of, so your final work done will be in terms of joules. So if I substitute in terms of, I'm going to substitute in terms of kilojoules. So this, if I substitute, this will be 1.2 divided by 1.2 minus 1. So in your mass is 1 kg, 1 into, okay, 0.287. So, and your temperature is 293. So that is, I'm trying to substitute in terms of Kelvin. Okay, I'm trying to substitute in terms of Kelvin. Then your P2 by P1, that is 10 divided by 1 whole to the power of 1.2 minus 1 divided by 1.2 minus 1. So if I try to, if I substitute everything in my calculator, so I'm getting around 236.13. 236.13 kilojoules per kg of air. Okay, when your air is the working substance, so it is per kg because mass is 1 kg. I'm writing the value in terms of kg. Now third quantity, usually they won't ask this actually because your compressors, most of the compressors will be insulated. So very rarely we'll ask what is the heat transferred. So we know from the first law of thermodynamics, okay, from the first law of thermodynamics, from the first law of thermodynamics, first law of thermodynamics. What is it actually? Q12 is equal to W12 plus delta U. Anyhow, work done, I can write it as, so already we have just now we have found it. So I can write either P1 V1 minus N minus 1 or whatever it may be, or just now we calculated that I can substitute. Okay. So what about your delta U? So delta U is nothing but your MCV into delta T. Okay. So work done during the compression already we know. So because we have found it actually. We have found it actually. So work done already we know. So now what is delta U? Delta U is equal to MCV into your T2 minus T1. Okay, that I'm going to substitute here. So this will be W this thing. So M is 1 kg, I will substitute CV into T2 minus T1. So this is actually 236.13 kilojoules. So CV also, see what can I do actually, CV if I substitute in terms of CV for air is actually 0.718 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin, or you can put 0.72 or 0.718. So if I put it 0.718, because that's also in kilojoules, so I'll be getting the final value in terms of kilojoules. Okay, divided by what is my T2? So T2 is actually 430.12, 430.12 minus, okay, then your T1 is 293. Okay, 293. And one thing you have to remember here actually, here what is your work done actually? So work done is negative. See, here you have to remember this is W12 is negative because it is a compressive work. Okay, so what I'm going to do actually, I have to put it as negative here. So this will be minus 236.13. It is minus 236.13. So then substitute everything. So then whatever this thing you're going to get, that is your heat. If I get it as a negative, it is heat loss. If I get it as positive, this is heat gained. So that's how you have to write it. 0.718 into 430.12 minus 293. So I'm getting around, so this is actually minus 236.13 plus 98.45. Okay. So I'm getting around minus 137. Okay, minus 137.68 kilojoules per kg. That means what it means actually, the negative sign indicates, I can write, the negative sign indicates the heat loss, indicates the heat loss or heat rejection, whatever it may be, from the compressor. Is that clear? So if you want, you can put, see, a few books I have seen. What they put actually, they will try to put work done is equal to P1 V1 minus P2 V2 by N minus 1 also. So there may be a little bit slightly error with it, but actually speaking, work done due to compression, this is what actually. You have to put Q is equal to W plus delta U, and you have to put what it is actually W. W is nothing but here it's work because of the compression, and I have put that values. I'm trying to get these values. It is minus 137.68. Is that clear? If it's clear, we'll move to the next problem. Okay, fine. So we'll move to the next problem, which is the second problem. It's something like this. A single stage double acting air compressor is required to deliver 14 meter cube of air per minute measured at 1.013 bar and 15 degrees Celsius. So the delivery pressure is 7 bar and the speed is 300 RPM. If I take the clearance volume as 5% of the swept volume, okay, the clearance volume is 5% of the swept volume, then what will happen? Here, this particular problem, I do have the clearance volume. If I try to write the PV diagram, there is a little bit of clearance, that is your VC or V3 is there. Okay, then so swept volume with a compression and expansion ratios of N is equal to 1.3. We are supposed to find the swept volume of the cylinder, the delivery pressure, and the indicated power. So indicated power is what? Work done. So multiply with mass per, we will end up with the work. So power action. So let's try to solve this problem. Okay, solution. Let's try to write the data what is given. Okay, so the data they are given is actually, it is the quantity of the air delivered. Okay, that is 14 meter cube per. Okay, 14 meter cube per. So quantity of the air delivered, that is, if I call it as some Q or something, it is 14 meter cube per minute. Then the pressure is P1 is equal to 1.013 bar and T1 is equal to 15 degrees Celsius. So 15 plus 273, it is 288 Kelvin. Then P2 is equal to 7 bar. Okay, and the speed is 300 RPM. Okay, then take the clearance volume, that is your VC is equal to that is 5%, means 5 by 100, that is 0.05 of your stroke volume or swept volume. Okay, then your index of expansion is equal to 1.3. So what you are supposed to find? We are supposed to find the first was actually the swept volume of the cylinder. The second one, the delivery temperature, T2 or whatever it may be. The third one, the power developed. So the three things we have to do this. We have to calculate. So first thing is, let's try to draw the PV diagram. Okay, this is the PV diagram. We have the pressure, we have the volume. Okay, now, so we need to draw the PV diagram. So we have the compression process, then we have the clearance volume and all. So let me do that. So this is at the lower pressure, then it is compressed to, this is 1, this is compressed to 2, then this is my 3, then this is 4. Okay, it's back. So this process is according to PV to the power of 1.3 is equal to constant, and this is the higher pressure, that is P2 is equal to P3, which is 7 bar, and this is your P1, which is equal to P4, which is 1.0132 bar. Okay, now, so this is my swept volume. What is the swept volume? So this is my V1. Okay, so this is my swept volume. Okay, then this is my clearance volume. So what they have given, actually Vc is equal to 5% of your clearance volume. So this temperature is 288 Kelvin. So I am supposed to find this T2. This is my T1 and that is my T2. That's how you are supposed to find. So what is your swept volume? So swept volume is given by swept volume. Okay, Vs is equal to V1 minus V3, or it is V1 minus V clearance volume. So your V clearance is 5% of swept volume. So or I can write your, so this is actually Vs is equal to V1 minus 0.05 of Vs, or if I take, I can write, if I take it to the side, V1 will be equal to Vs, that is 1 plus 0.05, this will be 1.05 Vs. Okay. Now, what is the volume induced in this particular cycle, or what is the volume of air delivered? So that is V1 minus V4. Okay. This is the volume of air delivered, which is, you can call it as Vd or whatever it may be. So volume induced per cycle, we call it as volume induced per cycle, which is actually V1 minus V4. Okay, V1 minus V4. What is it actually? This should be equal to your Q. That is the air delivered. So this is given as 14 meter cube per second, 14 meter cube per minute actually. So that is equal to 14 meter cube per, so I have to convert it actually. Okay, I want to get it into meter cube actually. So it is actually 14 divided by 300. Okay, so this is a what type of this thing? It's a single stage double acting. So I have to divide it by 2 because it will be, so this particular thing will be V1 minus V4. This will be divided by N, and this should be multiplied by 2 because it is a double acting. If it were a single acting, that would have been 1. Okay, this being a double acting. So this will be 14, okay, divided by 300 into 2. Okay, 14 by 300 into 2. I am getting around 0.0233. 0.0233 or 23, that's enough. 23 meter cube. This is my V1 minus V4. But what is my, if I try to take the expansion, what is my V1? V1 is 1.05 times of Vs, already we have found. Then what is my V3 by V4 or V4 by 3? Consider the process. So this is also according to the PV to the power of 1.3 is equal to constant. Okay, so consider the process 1 to 3 or 3 to 4. I can write it's a final volume, that is V4 by V3 is equal to, okay, P3 by P4 whole to the power of 1 by N. Okay, 1 by N. What is P3? P3 is equal to P2, P4 is equal to P1. Or I can write this will be equal to P2 by P1 whole to the power of 1 by N. Okay, so what is my P2? It is 7 divided by P1 is 1.013 bar whole to the power of 1 by 1.3. So I am getting around 4.42. 4.423. So V4 is equal to 4.423 times of V3. Okay, V4 is equal to 4.423 times of V3. What is V3? Which is 0.05 times, that is 5% of your Vs. So if that I can do it as 4.423 into 0.05 of Stokes volume. 4.423 into 0.05. If I do, so I'm getting around 0.221. 0.221, okay, Vs. So now I got V1 in terms of Vs and V4 in terms of Vs. Both I got in terms of this particular thing. Or V1 minus V4. Okay, what is then V1 minus V4 is what actually? Then V1 minus V4 is 0.023. So therefore, V1 minus V4 is equal to V1 is 1.05 Vs minus V4 is 0.221 Vs, which is equal to 0.023, or I will get Vs is equal to, so 1.05, okay, 1.05 minus 0.221, okay, divided by 0.023. So I am getting around 0.0277 or 0.028. I am getting Vs is equal to 0.028 meter cube. So this is the swept volume of your, so whatever the swept volume is, this is the swept volume Vs, which is 0.028 meter cube. We got it. First one we got it. Swept volume of the cylinder, got it. Now the second one, delivery temperature, that is T2. Second one, so consider, we know the delivery temperature, T2 by T1, or the exit temperature of your compression. So delivery temperature T2. Delivery temperature T2. So T2 by T1 is equal to, so P2 by P1 whole to the power of n minus 1 by n. Already we, in the previous problem also, we use the same formula. So P2 is actually, it is 7 divided by 1.013 bar whole to the power of 1.3 minus 1 divided by 1.3. Okay, so if I then multiply by 288, if I do, I'll be getting the T2 temperature divided by 1.013, okay, whole to the power of 3 divided by 1.3. So I am getting around 1.562, or your T2 is equal to 1.562 into T1, that is 1.562 into 288. If I do that, I am getting around 449.9, so roughly 450 degrees. 449.9, I can write it as 450 degree Kelvin. Okay, 450 degree Kelvin, or if I want in terms of degree Celsius, it will be minus 273. If I do, this will be 177 degree Celsius. So this is the temperature of your exit or the compression temperature. Now how to find the power actually? Okay, so you know that for a work done per second is the power. Okay, so now if I multiply by mass flow rate, if I multiply here, whatever that particular thing is there, if I try to multiply, you see, work done per second is the mass flow rate. So work done itself is nothing but it's a say kilojoules, whatever, directly you are getting kilowatts or something. So that itself is your power produced or indicated power. So the indicated power formula, the indicated power. So indicated power P1, P actually is given by, for a clearance this thing, it is given by N by N minus 1 into P1 into V1 minus V4 into P2 by P1 whole to the power of N minus 1 by N minus 1. This is the formula what we have derived already. Okay, we have derived all those things actually. Now what is V1 minus V4? It's actually your 14. So if you try to look into that actually. So 14 meter cube per minute. So there, if I try to put it in terms of seconds, that is divided by 60, I'll be getting directly the power. So you have to, this quantity, I have to ensure that this is in meter cube per second. Then directly I'll be getting, or you will be getting directly in terms of your kilowatts. If I try divided by 1000, I'll be getting in terms of kilowatts, or directly in watts divided by 1000, whatever you want you can do. So let me substitute, this will be 1.3 divided by 1.3 minus 1. Okay, this is 1.013 into 10 to the power of 5. So V1 minus V4, actually it is 14 meter cube divided by 60. So it will be 14 by 60 meter cube per second. Okay, that is 0.233. Okay, into, so your P2 is 7 bar divided by 1.013 P1, that is 1.3 minus 1 divided by 1.3 minus 1. Okay, so I am getting around, I try to substitute everything. So I am getting around 57.56. 57.56 kilowatts. This is my indicated power. So all the quantities, whatever is asked, so we are able to do it. Is that clear? So the same problem, if they ask you to find volumetric efficiency. So what you will do actually, the same problem. Say for example, if they ask you to do volumetric efficiency, volume of air delivered divided by swept volume. What is volume of air delivered? V1 minus V4. Okay, V1 minus V4. What is swept volume? Vs. So if I try to, the same thing, if you try to V 0.023, okay, V1 minus V4, and what is my Vs? So Vs is equal to 0.028. If I try to just simply take the ratio of it, okay, so just I will write it here. So an extra thing, anyway, it is not given in the problem statement. If they ask you to find volumetric efficiency, it is actually volume of the air delivered, that is V1 minus V4 divided by Vs, that is 0.023 divided by 0.028 divided by 0.028 into 100, it will be 82.14%. They can ask volume, find also the volumetric efficiency. So just take the ratio of that, you'll be getting it 80% or 72% depending upon the numbers. Volume of air delivered to swept volume will give the that particular thing. Is that clear? Any doubts? Not. We'll try to look into one more problem. Anyway, third problem is like that only. Rather than solving the volume, one more problem. So in this only I gave you the idea, you people can solve it. So let's take the next problem. That is a single stage, the fourth problem. Okay, fourth problem we'll take. We'll try to take the fourth problem and try to solve. Okay, the problem statement is something like this. A single stage, single acting compressor delivers 0.6 kg of air per minute at 6 bar. The temperature and the pressure at the end of the suction stroke are 30 degrees Celsius and 1 bar. The bore and stroke of the compressor are 100 mm and 150 mm respectively. The clearance is 3% of the swept volume. Assume the index of compression and expansion to be 1.3. Find the volumetric efficiency of the compressor. Power required if the mechanical efficiency is 85% and the speed of the compressor. So here they are not given the speed of the compressor. You are supposed to find the speed of the compressor. Okay. Now, so one more thing. You all know that we have derived one formula to find the volumetric efficiency. Okay, that also you can use. What is it actually? 1 plus C into 1 minus P2 by P1 whole to the power of 1 by n. Hope you remember. What is that C? C is the ratio of your, what is the clearance volume or whatever it may be. C is the ratio of clearance volume to swept volume. It's a VC to VS. So that formula also you can use it. So that formula also you can use and you can get directly. We'll try to use that formula in this particular problem and we'll try to solve the numerical. See now, to find the air actually, to find the speed actually, so you need to consider the displacement volume. You need a displacement volume. So displacement volume, so should be based on your free air delivered or what is the amount of air that is delivered. So based upon that, I should be able to do that. So that's the only change. So for the third one, we need some kind of changes actually. Remaining first and second, it's the same actually. So what I will do, I will take the same PV diagram. This is the same PV diagram and try to solve it. Okay, the PV diagram looks very similar to what we have solved already. Now it's 1.3. So n is equal to 1.3. There also at 1.3. Here also 1.3. So here the mass of air delivered is actually. So what is given actually? Let's try to write the data. What is given? Solution. What is the data that is given? So data is your mass flow rate is actually it is 0.6 kg per minute. If I want in terms of second, divided by 60. Then the higher pressure, that is P2, which is actually 6 bar, and P1 is actually it is 1 bar, and T1 is equal to 30 degrees Celsius. So 273 plus 30, it is 303 Kelvin. 303 Kelvin. So they are given the stroke and the diameter of the bore, so the diameter of the cylinder. So D is equal to, so 100 mm, that is 0.1 meters. The stroke length is equal to 150 mm, or it is 0.15 meters. So they have given clearance volume is 0.03, that 3 by 100 of your stroke volume or swept volume. And they are given the mechanical efficiency as 85%. This is what they are given. So what you are supposed to find? Okay, we are supposed to find the first one, the volumetric efficiency, the second one, the power required, the third one, the speed of the compressor. Okay, now let's try to find the first one, the volumetric efficiency. The volumetric efficiency. So I'm trying to solve different variety problems, whatever is there. So volumetric efficiency. We already derived this particular thing. The volumetric efficiency is given by 1 plus C into 1 minus P2 by P1 whole to the power of 1 by n. What is C? C is the ratio of Vc to Vs, which is, for this problem, C is 0.03. Already we have got it from the problem. Okay, what is P2? It is 6. What is P1? It is 1. Okay, if you want, you can open the bracket. So then it will be 1 plus C minus of C into P2 by P1 whole to the power of 1 by n. Whatever the way you want, you can do it. So this already we have derived it actually. So let's try to use that actually. So this will be 1 plus 0.03 into 1 minus 6 by 1 whole to the power of 1 by 1 by 3. So this is my volumetric efficiency. So I'm getting around 0.9109, so or 91 point, so 1 roughly 91 point, if I round it off, 91.1%, roughly 91%. It's a good number. 90% is a good number, 91%. Now what is your power required? Same as that of your previous problem. The power required, to drive the compressor. So what is the formula? Already, so this is a single stage. So the previous one, it was actually this being a single stage, I can use so MRT1. Okay, so this particular, if you go back and see here, so P1 into V1 minus V4. Okay, P1 into V1 minus V4 I use. Actually V1 minus V4 is actually, that is your mass flow rate. Either I can use this formula or I could have used MRT1. So I can use this particular, I have to use this particular formula to get it actually. So here if you look at it, V1 minus V4, what is it actually? V1 minus V4 I am trying to get in terms of mass flow rate. So P1 V1, see this particular thing, this particular V1, this is the discharge. So this is my volume of air delivered or discharge, I call it as VD. Okay, so now I can write that, see what is this actually here, it's nothing but VD actually, this is the discharge volume. So in this problem they are given in terms of mass actually, directly they are given the mass, which is 0.6 kg per minute. So I can directly use MRT1. I can use directly the MRT1 formula. So depending upon what is given, so based upon that I should use it. Okay, so the formula will be N by N minus 1 into MRT1, okay, into P2 by P1 whole to the power of, it is 1 by N. Okay, so directly if it is this particular thing, okay, N by N minus 1, N minus 1 by N minus 1. So this is the formula what I'm going to use. So this will be 1.3 divided by 1.3 minus 1. So here mass flow rate should be in, because I want in terms of power. So this mass flow rate I'm going to substitute in terms of kg per second. So 0.6 divided by 60. So R is 0.287. Okay, into 10 to the power of 3 if you put, I'll be getting in terms of watts. So if I want in terms of kilowatts, I can substitute in terms of 0.287. So 303 is my temperature into, this is actually 6 by 1 whole to the power of 1.3 minus 1 divided by 1.3 minus 1. Okay, now substitute everything. This is the power, the indicated power actually. If you want, I can put it as indicated power, or what is the power that is supplied actually. So if I substitute everything, I am getting around 1.928, so 93 kilowatts. So they are given mechanical efficiency. So power required to drive the compressor is actually, if I call it as power required to drive the compressor, that is PC, this will be PI divided by your mechanical efficiency. That is 1.93 divided by 0.85. Okay, 1.93 divided by 0.85. This is around 2.27 kilowatts. So this is actually, that is supplying. So there is a mechanical efficiency which is 85% I'm considering. Otherwise in the previous problem, if I consider that as 100%, so directly it will be, the indicated power will be equal to the power required to drive the compressors. Now the last one, the power or the speed of the compressor. Last one, it is the speed of the compressor, which is N. How to find it? So here, see now, what is the amount of free air delivered? Okay, so we have to calculate the free air delivered, that is FAD, which is given by, see, what is this free air delivered actually? If you just go here, this is the VD. So VD is nothing but, what is that particular thing? It is the free air delivered. Okay, if in the previous problem, I have put P1 into V1 minus V4. This is nothing but your V1 minus V4. That is my free air delivered. So this is given by MRT1 divided by T1. So then only this formula will hold good. So this will be 0.6, okay, into, if you want, you can keep this in terms of meter cube per minute or meter cube per second, doesn't matter, because I need to find a displacement volume. Displacement volume I want in terms of meter cube per minute or meter cube per second, doesn't matter. It will be in the same. Okay, if you let me keep it in some meter cube per minute only. So this will be 0.287, okay, into 10 to the power of 3, okay, into T1 is 303 divided by, what is your P1? P1 is 1 bar, that is 1 into 10 to the power of 5. If I do that, I am getting around 0.522 meter cube per minute. Meter cube per minute. Now, what is my displacement volume? So, displacement volume is nothing but your volumetric efficiency is equal to your free air delivered divided by your swept volume or your displacement volume. Or I can tell your Vs is equal to your free air delivered, or VD, what we call, divided by your volumetric efficiency. So your volumetric efficiency, we have found it to be 0.9109. Yeah, 0.9109. I'll substitute that actually. So free air delivered is actually 0.522 divided by 0.9109. So I'm getting around 0.5728 meter cube per minute. Okay, so now what type of compressor it is actually? It's a single acting compressor. So this volume should be equal to area into stroke length into speed, LAN. Okay, this Vs should be equal to LAN, where L is the stroke length, A is the cross section area, and N. So N, you have to be very careful. If it is a single acting or double acting, it's a force, so you have to be very careful here. So here is a single acting compressor. So let me write that. Single acting compressor. Single acting compressor, it is N. So what will be the formula? So Vs is equal to, what is your L? So L into pi by 4 into d square into N. Or your N is equal to 4 times your Vs divided by, okay, 4 times your Vs divided by pi d square into L. Okay, so this is actually 4 into 0.5728 divided by pi into 0.1 square into 0.15. So I am getting around 486.2 RPM. So this is the speed of the compressor.